So traders, the Fed came out and did their whole thing. Yeehaw, hoo-ha. You know, they did all that sort of stuff. I'm looking at the markets. I'm also going to be looking at gold and silver and some things are really interesting when it comes to gold, silver, and the mining sector, plus the stock market. I'll be looking at the interest rates, and I want to share a lot of things with you because there's some things that are going to give you some ideas about what's coming down the road. Let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, traders, let's get straight into it. Traders, I've actually opened up one more spot. I actually closed down. I recently opened up 80% off to my private weekly coaching program. This is my top tier coaching program, okay? And so I actually closed it down yesterday, but I had so many floods of emails coming through. So I'm going to be opening up. I'm going to be opening up another one more spot to that. So if you want that, then just email me the link below. I'm going to be emailing out all the details, and the first person to actually get the 80% off actually gets the spot. So email me right now it should be an email below to get that 80% off to the private weekly coaching program. My number one strategy, having me there as your coach, all that sort of stuff. Let's actually get into the markets. Now, the markets actually had a little bit of a nothing day today. And yesterday I came out and said in a video that we're probably likely to start to see this here. So let's actually take that. Look at this here. So we actually have what? We have these gaps, right? Gaps here and then gaps here. So there's a high probability that we're actually, there's 100% certainty that these gaps are going to be filled. It may be 30 years from now. All right. So we have down, 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 and you can see what actually happened here, right? Look at today actually rejected at this high here. So we could possibly be getting ready for a move back to the upside, but I wouldn't be too surprised to actually start to see that when it comes to the markets. Looking at the S&P 500 there, but we are still in a very big downtrend. So even if we do get some sort of a rally out of this market here, guys, it's probably going to be very short-lived because we're still on a big downtrend. And the major key support levels for me, if I just bring back your refresher, this is actually, again, this is looking at the weekly charts, the big, massive long-term weekly charts on the S&P 500. You can see where these major support levels come into play. So I believe that's where we're probably going to end up before we start to really bottom out, before we start to see any move up. I could be wrong. We could be bottoming now. There's no signs of that yet, so don't be trying to capture falling life. Just be patient, okay, guys? If you're looking for a good trade in the markets, firstly, number one, what are you actually focusing on? What are you actually looking for? Because if you don't even know what you're looking for, how do you know if a good trade is? How do you know if a good trade is not right in front of your face? I always say to my private clients that step one, you must know what you're looking for. What are you actually looking for? That's a good trade. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, then what are you looking for? You know what I mean? It's like, John, I'm looking for a good trade. Okay, but do you actually know what goes into a good trade? No. Okay. So you're looking for something you don't even know what you're looking for. Okay, that makes sense. Right? So that's what you should be doing, okay, traders? If you're in these markets, just the number one key to success in these markets is pattern recognition. As a trader, investor, different story. Trader is about pattern recognition. It's all about having a set of rules or a set of patterns. Or for me, it's really only one type of pattern that I trade. And that's the sort of thing I look at. But looking at the S&P 500, we're pulling back through here, and we're probably going to start to get down through here right now. And the interesting thing about the interest rates, I believe we're going to start to get to a bit of a turning point when it comes to the interest rates, inflation, and all that sort of stuff. I believe there's going to be a bit of a turning point here soon. Same for the Nasdaq as well too. This is the long-term Nasdaq. So Nasdaq has a bit more, but once the Nasdaq gets down to about the 10,000, which is only another 1,000 points to the downside, we're going to start to run into some major significant support levels. So that's where I believe we're actually probably going to get down to before we start to see a bounce. You can see this whole Nasdaq support level. That's that major support level there. But if we go have a look at what's actually happened as of today. Right, that's the big picture. Small picture, big picture. Small picture, big picture. Okay, this is where being a really, really successful trader is. Okay, what's happening now? Because this is all I'm worried about. This is all I care about right now to see if it meets my criteria. If it's about the pattern that I trade, and then I'm going to trade it, right? But then I also want to keep an eye on stuff like this to see, okay, where's that big picture? What's going to happen, and so on and so forth. Right? Small picture, big picture. Small picture, big picture. So we can see here right now, we're getting a bounce. We almost actually filled on the Nasdaq. We almost actually filled this very first gap here. So really interesting stuff through there. And so if we I'll just share this with you here. Looking at the let me bring this up through here. Look at this here. I believe we could be getting towards the end of these major moves to the upside when it comes to the inflation numbers and the inflation rate. Because look at this here, right? We had a big move down and we had a big move up. Look at this here. We had a sideways movement and then we had a very, very, very big sort of blow off move to the upside through there. So I really do believe, guys, looking at this here, because we've done such a big vertical move in the market. This is looking at the 2 year, by the way, 2 year. Okay, because we've done that. Where are we here? Okay, so because we've done that, traders, look at this here. All right, so we've done that here. We have resistance, and then we have this big blow off top through here. So traders, I actually believe we're about to see some sort of a strong reversal across these longer term, sort of not the short term rates of what the Fed did today, right? 75 basis point basically. In the rates. But look at this here, big move up and a big blow off top. So I believe we're getting towards the end of this movement in the 2 year. I don't know why. I don't know what's going to happen, guys. But if you remember, just like when I was saying back when the market was going, see back here, just like when the market was going sideways through here, I'm saying something big's going to hit the market. I don't know what, but it's going to cause this market to go down. And then suddenly we just got thumped, right? So I don't know why, but this big massive move, and once again, look at this here. If I squeeze my charts up, we're getting towards the end of this move. Up, sideways, up, little sideways, and then another big move up again. We're getting towards the end of this move. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see this thing now start to back off. And so if we have a look at the other interest rates as well, if we have a look at the other interest rates when it comes to, the 30 year as well too, you can see the 30 year has continued to rise and rise and rise. Okay, we're getting towards that 3.5% now on that year, but we've been going up for quite some time once again. Just slowly stepping up in this favor. And if we have a look at the 10 year as well too, same sort of scenario, right? Very big up move, a little pullback, and another big up move. I believe this is getting towards the close of this is getting close to the final hooray in the markets. And I believe we're going to start to see a massive shift in the markets. Now, this is what's going to probably bring on a recession. The reason why is because as the Fed over here, right? The Fed is operating the short rates, the rates here. Okay, so what's happening right now is that as the Fed is raising rates here, this may be the rates where we are right now with the short term where the Fed operates. But then when you start to get to the 10 year, 30 year, and the 2 year, we actually start to look something like this, right? And we do something like that towards the end. What does that mean? That the 30 year, because the 30 year right now is at 3.2. So I showed that was the 10 year. So we get that there, right? So the short end is down here and up there. Now what's likely to happen is, if my thesis is correct about the interest rates, is we're going to start to see a bit of a softening of the interest rates. So a bit of a pullback in the interest rates. And as that pullback is happening, they're still jacking up these interest rates. And then guess what? That's what caused the inverted, because now the short rates will become much higher than the long rates, right? Because if we're looking at the 10 year, if the 10 year does pull back to 2%, then we're going to start to get something like this this is what the yield curve is going to look like. And this is what in an inverted curve looks like, right? The short rates of what the Fed does, the Fed may get to 2.5, but then what happens if this thing starts to drop back down towards, if this is 2.5, but then the 30 year is now at 2, or the 10 years at 2, and the 30 years is at 2 point something. See how this here, where the Fed operates, the close end, basically this close end curve. But then if the free market starts to really push down these long interest rates, then we have the short interest rate high, these longer term, the 10 year, the 30 year, and so on and so forth. If they're much lower, then we're going to start to have, they are much lower, which creates an inverted, right? Right now we have the short end down here, and we have the long end up here, which basically creates that nice curve coming up. But once the Fed starts to jack up the interest rates, and once again, and if my thesis is correct, the Fed is probably going to get the interest rates up to here. And if we do start to get a pullback in all these over long-term interest rates, over the next couple of months, the short end is going to be down here somewhere. Then we're going to start to get a steepening of that, which means the shorter end is higher, the long end is lower. And that's what, when that happens, guys, get ready for the recession. Well, we're going to hit the recession anyway. That's what's going to happen. So that's what I'm seeing through there right now, traders. Move over now through to the gold mining sector here. A bit of a double bottom in the market, but traders, just remember that nothing has changed here. We are getting a bit of a double bottom in the market, so we could be finding a bottom. But traders, if you are a trader of these markets, okay, and you don't have any exit plan at all, I'm just gonna buy this because it looks good. Don't be stupid, guys, okay? Like, seriously, you're playing with your money right here, right now. And if you want to become good at this thing called trading, then don't get in and get out because what I say, like, no, it's about having a plan, right? And I saw one person recently say, and he's so emotional, right? He was so emotional. Is that because when the market started getting up to here, and I started calling this here a fake out and not a breakout. And then he got out, but then he saw this big engulfing bar, and the market was up here, and he's like, oh, I knew I should have listened to John. John's an idiot. I should have stayed in mining stocks. And now look what's happening right now. We're pulling back. The whole purpose of what I just said there is, traders, if you're going to get into a trade, step number one, and this is, again, if you really do need some real big help with the systems, the strategies, and the coaching, go email me, and you might get that last spot or that one extra spot I've just opened up. Step number one is, what are you looking for? What is your eye looking for, right? Because if you don't know what to look for, how do you find it? And if you're just looking for anything to get into, you may do well initially, but you're going to blow yourself up, right? Step number two is, what are you looking for? And then step number two is, what is the exit rules, both for the profit and loss? Step number three, do this only. Oh, but John, I haven't had a trade for a week or two or a month. Oh my goodness. Well, that's the nature of the beast, right? That's the nature of the beast. So don't be just jumping in and jumping out because the YouTube videos say, okay? You running around like a madman is not going to get there. Just slow down. What are you looking for? If you don't know what you're looking for, that's your foundation to your success as a trader of these markets, right? Is pattern recognition and recognizing these patterns. And if you don't know what those patterns are, that's where you need to go out and then get help. Move over now through to gold, and gold is just continuing to build up this sideways movement. You can see here what's happening with gold over the last sort of 12 months, or over the last 12 months. You can see how we've actually had this very big downward move through here, and then now we've had this sort of sideways move through here as well too. So Gold does look like the big picture with gold that I'm seeing right now. Let me go to the weekly charts. I'll bring this up to here. Weekly charts. So the long-term picture with gold is that I really do believe, guys, that gold is getting ready for some serious moves, but we may end up having a bit of a deflationary period. We may get a bit of a drop first to really shake the hands out, but I believe we're going to start to do something like this and then start to really build up some really big moves. So, really, gold is one of those markets, guys, that once we really start to get back above that 2,000, it's going to be just absolutely just crazy. Moving over now through to the good old silver market, and silver once again, guys, silver's actually, but again, guys, if silver's going to start to really develop some sort of legs behind this silver market, if this whole thing is going to be some false breakout, what do we need to wait for confirmation? Remember, guys, confirmation, not jump in now because it's definitely going to be. This whole thing here, is this a big massive false breakout below these major support levels where we actually get the support level, we break below the support, and then it gets back above? If this is one big false breakdown or false breakdown, what do we need to look for? Well, right now, we could be actually getting it right now. And what is that? That is this. Let me share this with you here. So we have this low point down here, and so that's what's happening right now. We're not there yet. Okay, guys, we're not there yet because this could be a bit of just a shake and bake. But we have a low, and now we actually have a higher low starting to form. What if the market does this, and then this, and then this, and then something like that? What would that mean? Oh, now the market is telling us, not what we want it to tell us, okay? No, throw your ego out the window, okay? Because it's not about our ego. Your ego is going to destroy you when it comes to just everything in life, right? Just throw that ego out the window, because who cares about ego? It's like, whoa, look at me, I got it right. Whoopie doo, who cares? Right? So then we have a low, we have a higher low. And then if we do get this higher low, but we start to break past these here, then guess what? Now things have changed. Now that's going to tell me that this whole thing here is one big false breakdown. And then we're probably going to start to see a move back up towards the 26, 27, maybe even back up towards the 30 mark. But if we do get that, then we're probably going to run back up to at least that 26 level in silver. But if we don't get that, and if we just get something, and then we're probably just going to get something like this, right? And then if we break below these lows here, then we're probably going to have another bit of a free fall. So that's the pattern. This is stuff what I'm talking about here when it comes to pattern recognition, right, traders? Wait for the pattern to form first. Don't be in such a rush to get in and get out, because that's the fastest way for you to blow yourself up. Just be patient. And right now the market is quite volatile. We're getting a lot of movements and there's a lot of things happening. Just sit back, watch the market, and then just wait for those patterns that you know that inside yourself that work most of the time. And if you don't have that, then that's where you need to start with your education to find out that and figure out what are those trades that most of the time make a profit, and then you can move forward. Hey traders, I'm giving away 100% free access to my brand new breakthrough full trading course. This is 8 videos over 10 hours of pure amazing and powerful strategies. This is my most powerful systems and strategies that I've used for the last 16 years, and I'm giving it away for free. So this is what I want you to do right now. I want you to go to johnsfreegift.com, or there should be a link around here somewhere, a button or in the description or somewhere in there. Click on that and you can go get free access to my brand new breakthrough trading course. So go to johnsfreegift.com right now. Go do that right now, guys. You can get full, complete, free membership access. Go do that right now.